calling all tinkerers and builders. Mechanic Miner is a sandbox game you should be aware of. Mechanic Miner is for the creative, physics-based builder that wants to create the right tool for the job. And that job is defeating all the enemies in the game. You'll have all kinds of materials, engines, circuits, and belts. There are 3 modes of play: story, free, and survival. There's a ton of gameplay and a million ways to build something interesting. Let's check out Mechanic Miner. So, absolutely, Mechanic Miner is for gamers who enjoy building vehicles. More like tanks, though, because building a sturdy vehicle that can fight is key. You get to create it whatever way you wish, and the game comes with a few presets you can test out. The parts all need to be connected to an engine or the main control lever, and the game does a good job making sure it's obvious if something is wrong. So while you can path the wires and pipes any way you choose, there are points on each item that need to connect. I found the construction to be straightforward, but I'm no master builder. Since the paths of wires can go anywhere, it's easy to path it straight there. What you can build is on the left menu, broken up to fairly obvious groups. It would have been nice if they showed you exactly how many materials you have left after you built something. So you can make a decision if you didn't have enough. Although it's nice they allow you to build up to 20 of any item at a time. The building gets a lot easier once you learn all the keyboard and mouse controls, which is very important when you're trying to dismantle certain parts and not recycle everything. One pain point is that there's no way to replace something. When I was struggling to replace the walls of my vehicle with a stronger material, I gave up and redesigned the whole thing from scratch. Still, it's a good system and doesn't punish you too much for making the wrong item because you can recycle it back to the base material. Besides building, you're going to be gathering a lot of raw materials. It can take some time as you need to drain the resources out of an item. It would have been great if they showed you how many resources you gathered. Like Terraria, where if you collect stone blocks, it shows you how many you collected so far. Also, it can be difficult to tell if you're collecting iron or zinc, and the game doesn't show you what's going into your inventory. Gathering is one of those mechanics that ends up becoming very boring for me. Who wants to sit there and collect forever? But harvesting will allow you to find more crafting recipes, so it's a little bit more exciting. There's a chance once you've harvested something completely that a new recipe will be available. They randomly show up, and it's not in any planned order. So I've gotten one recipe and then I died, only to find a completely different one the next time. Anyway, I recommend starting on story mode because it's where you can get a bit of a tutorial. They show you how to design a very simple vehicle, and then after that, it's pretty much up to you to upgrade it. And you must improve it. Maybe redo the walls to be stronger or add on a third ballista. Anything that will get you past the enemies and bosses. They're pretty strong without the right creation, and that's the only thing between you and it. The story isn't bad either. You crash land on Mars and your cat leads you through because they're the only thing that can find the materials you need. Also, you have yourself as a guide. It's complicated future stuff, don't get too much into it. It's the combat that really drives the building, not the terrain. There is some trial and error, which is typical in these types of games. I'm the doofus that made my vehicle too short and it keeps flipping over anytime I go down a hill. Funny when you're watching it, but really not so funny when you're playing it. You should keep in mind that the story mode is fairly linear, but there's no world map to help you at least at the beginning. You're only supposed to follow your cat. You can get a little lost if you're not sure where the cat went. But if you want to test building designs, Well, that's what free building mode is for. It gives you everything available in the game, and you can build it for free. Great testing grounds, but also it is a little bit of a spoiler if you preferred to find all the recipes yourself. Moving on to the survival mode, it's very similar to the story mode and is even played on the same map. You do get to choose a death penalty to make it a little bit more difficult. After the story mode, if you wanted to start from the beginning, this is the game mode you would play. If you do pick up Mechanic Miner, you have to keep a few things in mind. First, a pipe isn't a tube. These are two distinct things in the game, and I've mixed them up a few times. It seems like a mistake to me since the definition of a pipe has the word tube in it. They're the same thing. Another weird part of Mechanic Miner is that you must be standing inside your vehicle to take it below ground. I assumed the game would just bring the vehicle along since you're pretty much useless without it. So don't play the game without your vehicle if you think maybe the game's trying to force you to do that. Don't do it. One final thing before we wrap this up. The music in Mechanic Miner is fantastic. I had to figure out who created it since it sounds so much like the soundtrack for Terraria. I swore it was the same person. Well, I guess it's not. But the music is still awesome, and here, I'll let you listen to about 20 seconds of it. Overall, Mechanic Miner is fun, and it makes me wish I was better at creative architecture. If you enjoy building with the intent of overcoming an enemy obstacle, then you should consider this game. Some of the crazy designs the developer came out with are neat to see, but I bet the players could come up with something even better. Thank you. Mechanic Miner was fun. A pipe is a tube, but what should I play next? Thank you very much for watching, and I expect you'll hit subscribe now.